Hello. Hello. All right. Oh. Wait, what? Okay, that's bad. Sigh, we're going to have to look at that. Okay. Not now. What am I doing? It's called example, not tests. Okay. Okay, now this, I just noticed this guy doesn't work correctly. This is the integer. I don't know how this escaped our notice last time, but the integer doohickey for some reason doesn't work. The floating point one does, but the integer doohickey does not. So oops. Let's make sure we've got everything. Why is my right arrow key stuck down? Guys, what is going on? Okay. Okay, hopefully that was a temporary mishap. 37 months. There aren't even that many months. I don't know how this 37 months thing is happening. Okay. So that is slider. It's in the integer slider somehow. And there's like two problems that are probably related. There's like when I'm dragging, it seems to think the region is just that tiny bit of the bar, right? And then when I finish, it's like the whole thing. Yeah, see, when I finish, it's the right amount. Like that's 4, 8, right? So it's just while dragging that it's wrong. But then also, if I click left here, it goes to 10. And if I click right here, it goes to 10. And that seems very bad. So let's look at that. So here's our slider. It should have spinbox step 1. So it's probably in set and maybe clamp. I'm just in the mood to printf debug right now. I don't know why. We could do this in the debugger, but whoops. Okay. So before clamp, after result is 4. But all right. That's weird. You know what? Wait. 4, 11. Wait, after clamp it's 11? Oh, because result is the wrong thing. Pointer is argument 2. Okay, so it's there. You know what? I bet I didn't set this correctly. Or just the min value. No, because we pass those in. Those are just parameters. Well, let me just see. So it's actually clamping correctly. So it's getting changed somewhere. All right, we're going to debugger it. Remember what I said about not using the debugger? Forget it. We're going to debugger it. Okay. We are going to put a breakpoint right there. Wait, is that right there? Right in our prints and the revolution. Okay. So we are going to start. We're going to open our thing. We're going to observe. Dude, this debugger slows things down so much. It's crazy. All right. We click on this. All right. So value is 4. When does this change to something else? Probably the slider code goes off, right? Probably the slider code goes haywire and thinks it's sliding a lot. 7FF 68 E58 9008. Okay. So here we say state sliding. I don't know why state dot sliding. Oh, it's because we clicked in the spin box. And that's outside the thing. But maybe we're not correctly detecting that. Yeah, so now, yeah, it's trying to go all the way to the right. So T is going to be more than 1 probably. Well, it's going to be 1 because it's going to be clamped, right? Yeah. So it's because the spin buttons are on the right. We went way over and boom. Okay. So we're checking this status. This is probably where we set sliding to be true. Status is going to be on the body rect. Which is just before the spin box gets cut off. See this? So yeah, that's the problem. Is we think we're scrolling, and we shouldn't be. Okay. So supposedly we modify the body rect though. Oh, but the status. We didn't re-get the status. All right. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay, so that's good. This part is not good. There's some code in here about when we're scrolling that is busted still, but this part is good now. And the scrolling works such as it is for floats. So we need to look at that. Sliding. It's almost as if it thinks we should be set to 60 or something, like the previous thing. Did I delete our old print? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right. So we need to look for a likely candidate for why this doesn't work. Well, let's go to where we draw the rectangle and sort of go backward. So QRect could okay, so this T, it's different, right? Okay. If it's not int, we do this. Otherwise, we try to do this absolute placement thing. Right, okay. This is what's going wrong, probably. Denom. Let's just... All right. So something there will probably be a little wacky. So I'm here, I'm doing there. So mouse X 941, body rect starts at 756. The width is 256. Total is 0.7, okay. Total is 0.5. Total is 0.1. Okay, these numbers that we're getting look correct to me. There's maybe a little bit, I think we're not, yeah, okay. No, they look fine. So then it must be this part. Let's put this, see, it's confusing in code. We had not equal to int here, and then we had equal. Like, if you're going to handle two different cases like this and then do the same thing later, do them in the same order, right? Also, capitalize and use punctuation, please. Okay, so our t values look fine, right? Okay. Value is cast int 0.5 plus lerp min value to max value by t. And then we reset t based on this. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, okay. That's going wrong. Look at that. It should be slightly rounded to something very close. Okay, so this denom is off probably. Oh, because denom is the width of the thing in pixels. But this should be... okay. There we go. So much better. Okay. Okay. Fixed buggy behavior of modules get rect slider integer slider. Look at the value. Look at the value. How bad do I think the new VS 2002 would be? Are they re-releasing Visual Studio 2002? Is this like re-releasing Final Fantasy VII? Or did you mean 2022? Okay. I don't even I don't pay attention to that stuff. I don't give a shit about Visual Studio. It's bad. It's never going to get better. I don't have zero of the problems that I have with Visual Studio have anything to do with it being 64 or 32-bit only. I have zero problems of that kind. So it doesn't matter. Was layout stuff worked on? No, we haven't done layout yet. We haven't ported all the widgets over yet. As you can see, the last time we were doing tons of GetRect stuff was at the beginning of the month. We did a little bit on the 8th for that beta. We didn't really do any for this beta, except that these features were sort of got put into the timeline so that we could use them in GetRect to do stuff. So now we're going back and doing more things. I did start to put in, okay, I did remember to delete those. Are those really gone? Yeah, okay. So I did start to put in scroll bar here. But it is not done. As you can see, It is very not active. So we're going to do that now. So I want to get scroll bar and scrollable region ported over, especially because that's another thing that's kind of layouty, right? It's like, oh, I want to know how scrolled things can be. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we're in the middle of that. I just pulled the code over. It's not active or responding to the mouse. So we're going to want to do that stuff, which will be just hooking it into the same code that does these things, right? I'm going to want to put some stuff into a scrolling region. Right? Just clicking on the empty part of the bar, slowly move the scroll down. No, it doesn't do anything right now because you can't click. When it does, no, it won't slowly move the scroll bar down. It'll, well, I don't know. Okay, that's a good point. Historically, you want it to like move the scroll to that point. And the question is, if you want to animate that or smooth it, how much do you smooth it? Because if you want it, you don't want it to go at a constant speed, because if you click really far, you don't want it to take forever. So there's a little bit of an interesting thing there. Okay. So far, we are winning. We started to kill chaos here when we fixed this. It did not previously work. Like a big block of text in a scrolling region. I mean, we don't have a text block widget, but you could draw a bunch of labels, or you could draw a bunch of these, right? We'll probably make a really big enit, because I'd like to put something interactive in there to like make sure it works, right? And especially, I want to make sure like, oh, if it's scissored off the top or bottom, but we're rendering it anyway for like simplicity reasons, that you can't accidentally click on something, right? So what I'm going to do now, I want to actually draw the region that stuff is going to go in. And I guess I'll put that on the theme. Yeah, we'll put it on the scrollable region theme. And you could set the W to 0 if you don't want it to draw. Like long term, it's up in the air how much I want the user to think about and draw. But yeah, okay. So themes. Scrollable region theme. We're going to say background color. Yes. And we're going to say region background color, just so we don't. Let's call it background color. It's fine. And I'm kind of doing these violets here. So it's going to be like a dark. Let's make it like that. Okay. And then here we're going to go, when we draw a quad, oh, not in slider. We want to go to scroll bar. When we begin scrollable region, we want to draw the background before we push the scissor. Get quad of R, and then we're going to go shader for color, and then we're going to go immediate quad theme dot background color. All right, there we go. So that's just a scrollable region. Great. Okay. Well, what we really should do is put some stuff in the scrollable region to make sure the scissoring works and all that stuff. And, well, yeah, we'll start with that. So maybe just some buttons in the scrollable region. Okay, so in the example, we're going to say begin scrollable region. You know what? And we're going to do this. We're going to use a defer on it because we're going to be cute. Actually, let's say scroll value is a global. We're going to want to remember this over time. Okay. So we're just going to defer that. And then we do whatever we want here. 30, right? So button height is going to be actually, is this yeah. Inside dot width times point y. I'm just getting an arbitrary thing. Okay. So for 1 to num buttons, so we don't have a cut top, but we'll do that. Cut top is going to be here. So the remainder, well, we just take down the height, right? And for the bottom, this is top. We just do that. Right? Okay. So we're going to chop a rect for each button off the top. We're going to say R, comma, you know what? We don't actually want to do that. Because we don't actually want to do a cut here because as we get down toward the bottom, we want to pretend like our buttons are still full size. We don't want to go down to like a sliver rect when we get down there, right? And we're going to start above the top once we're scrolling. So we're going to say, let's make some text. All right. So we're just going to do this. Now, what is our rect? We're going to say R is inside, all right? So we're just going to say it's whatever that inside rectangle was, but the top. And we're going to put some incomplete here. Add the scrolling offset when we have it. Although I guess we do kind of, well, we do kind of have it, I guess, because it's the scroll value. Okay. What I don't like... So I think we need to keep the scroll value internally not in pixels so that, you know, if the display changes while you're dragging, that we don't go crazy. Like, so it should probably be, you know, as a float multiple of the screen height or something. Okay, so anyway. So we get this, we do this, and then we say r.y minus equals button height. All right. And then, oh, you know what? Let's not do this cute defer thing because we want to use variables that don't exist yet. We're going to say actually that did exist. Whatever. There we go. Height, yes, it's W and H, guys. Oh boy, those buttons, first of all, we didn't pass the index. Secondly, we're scrolling while I'm inside the thing. There's all sorts of things that aren't correct, but that's okay because we're here to confront chaos and see what we can do about chaos. We are getting the little bit of highlight over the button that we're in. That's nice. Okay, first. Okay, well, you will notice the scissoring is working. However, we are clicking in scissored buttons, so we're going to have to deal with that as well. Okay. First, we need to pass identifier here. That gets rid of all the buttons problem. Second, why are the buttons so big, so wide? Oh, because we left it with right justified button theme. Oh, this is it. We left it with right justified button theme, but the inside rect should correctly remove the scroll bar, but it doesn't. So it's actually good that we started with right justified button theme. Okay, I don't really know why this is all so confused, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. Why is inside effed? So inside is supposed to be, let's just do this. Cut right from inside, we're doing it before we cut off the scroll bar. That's dippy. All right. So let's go do we have cut left yet? Nope. All right, we're going to do cut left, and then we'll have the 4 cuts. Cut left. Okay, so we want to cut the main thing into content area and bar rect is cut left of R by scroll. Oh no, cut right. Wait, no, cut left. Let's do this. Bar rect content area is cut right, because I don't want to have to go width minus scroll bar width. Scroll bar width. So we didn't need our cut left. Okay. So now inside is going to be content area. All right. Great. We need scroll bar width up here. We get rid of that. And get quad content area. Okay. There we go. We have all these buttons in the scroll bar. Scroll bar itself is still very confused. That's fine. The scroll wheel is kind of doing some things. Who knows what that's all about? Okay, but in general, we're starting to do okay. Let's actually try to use the scroll offset and see what happens. Actually, no, we have to do this. So I actually want to change the button size a little bit. I want to make them bigger because I want to get a good chunk of a half a button so I can make sure I'm not using it. A good chunk of a half a button. So button width, button height, times 0.22. 22 caliber button height. Okay, look at that. Look at those buttons. So from down here below the thing, I should not be able to click on button 9. In fact, it shouldn't see me at all. Hopefully that's easy. So when we go to get status flags, okay. Okay, we're just going to say if you're outside the scissor, you're donezo, right? So where scissor stack. Okay. So we're going to say if there's nothing on the scissor stack, you're visible, you're fine, okay? Top is peak pointer scissor stack. Yeah. Okay, so now as soon as I go down here, we're dead. I'm clicking, nothing's happening. I go back up here, we're fine. Oh, except what's happening here? What? The very bottom. Ooh, I can get 2 buttons at once. We need to fix that. Anyway, though. Top.y plus top.w. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Look, it's fixed now. I fixed it. I saw the problem all by myself, totally. Nobody else helped. Okay, so now the scroll bar being weird might just have to do with us not using the scroll offset. So let's see. Scroll value. Here we're going to say r.y plus equals scroll value. Let's see what happens. Yeah, look. Look, we're scrolling. I don't know why we go, oh, because we subtract on the last one. So we have an empty button slot because our loop subtracts every time. We don't really want to do that, but so that's good. We already have a quasi-usable thing. How great is that? See, like, programming is not that hard sometimes, guys. Okay. So, let's So there, now we won't have a blankenspiel. Okay, now when I click here, I'm like scrolling, so that's not good. So we want to fix that. I guess for now we're going to say it's fine. Like, you can imagine some flags about whether mouse wheel is supposed to do something or not, but all right. I'm just going to put that there for when we deliver value to the people. Yeah, so when we do this, so we have the trench rect. That's what we want here. Status bar, status R. Okay, this is not good. But we're not even worried about that yet. The problem right now so scroll value, we're looking at status R, which is the inner area. That's not what we want. Okay, if we do mouse wheel, where is that? Oh, that's mouse delta Z. Okay, no, this part is actually fine. Scroll with the mouse wheel, period. God damn it. This wad of code we'll still dig our way into in a minute. Okay, so mouse delta Y. So if we have focus in the trench rect, okay. Has focus is not doing anything right now because we don't have a focus system. It always returns true. So we want to say trench status, yes. I think we can just do this because I think later if you don't have focus, you won't get an over anyway. All right. So I can scroll wheel in either place, but if I'm dragging, I'm clicking and dragging in here, nothing's happening. If I do it here, we scroll. Except we're not, oh, I see. So we actually need to be better. So it's kind of halting right now because when I go outside the scroll region, we are no longer dragging, right? Okay, but that means I want it to be more stateful about whether I'm clicking and dragging and stuff. And for that, I want to piggyback on the button state anyway, because the button state has all this stuff about, hey, I'm over, hey, I'm held, right? I'm flashing when I clicked. I want to do all those things with this. All right. And part of what those do is like, hey, it knows we're holding the button. So if we're holding the button, it's okay if we're outside the region, right, etc. So that is the next part. Do I find myself using horizontal scrolling in any of the tools? Okay. So I made a different thing for that. I forget what I called it, but when so here we have this thing where like stuff slides out horizontally, right? And you can collapse it and whatever. So I tend to use that. Like this thing here is more like a, I forget, you alt click in this to move around. Like if you need 2D whoops, oh, that's bad. Yeah, I went outside the region and that's not good. So we're gonna need to fix that. But like, if you need 2D motion, using horizontal and vertical scroll bars kind of sucks, right? So like, I think we will do a vertical scroll bar. Right now, the code that we're doing is horizontal only. Right now we're doing vertical scroll bar or only just to get it booted, because almost everybody who wants a scroll bar wants a vertical scroll bar, right? So we're just going to get that going. It's going to be fine. And then we'll do horizontal later on, right, as a lower priority thing. Okay, so I want to go to state here, and scrollable region state is going to have all right, we're just going to do that with no comment. And we call update production value button. And we're just going to try calling this, right? So here, when we have the nib height, we get the nib rect. As soon as we have the nib rect, we're going to say update production value button, nib rect. Changed, let's just say false for now. State.nib state. Actually, let's say trench status. No, let's do nib status. Nib status. And hopefully it's called nib theme. And then we're going to want to get the color down here, because without that, we're not even going to know that anything happened. Let's make sure that even, whoops. Let's make sure that even compiles. It doesn't. Nib theme. Scroll bar nib theme. Okay. It says it right there. Maybe we can shorten that name later. Okay, so in update production value button, yeah, we do this. So to compute the theme, we're going to do some color stuff, and I can't type theme dot with b dot. Boom, boom, boom. Just giving us a different name than the main theme. And over factor and pressed factor are from update production value button, right? Yes. Over factor, pressed factor are that. Okay. Redeclaration of variable nib color. Yeah. Okay, down effect T. All right. Okay. It's not really doing anything when I go over it. Not sure why. Let's do the debugger. Oh, you know what? It's going to be annoying to try to debug this with the debugger while my thing is here, right? Let's just make sure it's going there. Well, it is. So basically all these factors are coming out 0. And we know nibrect is correct because that's what we're drawing down below, right? So our changed being false is maybe not good, but I don't know. I don't really know what we want to do for that right now. Anyway. What are we failing to do? We might be just failing to initialize that button theme in a reasonable way. I mean, although all these defaults should be reasonable. Let's try changed equals true. Oh, okay. Well, it is picking a color based on that. But the over and stuff, like, why isn't that working? I mean, I don't want to start putting debug printfs in there, but am I batch rendering? No, I don't care. Like, people bother me about all sorts of things that don't actually matter, I guess because they're mildly interesting or something. But like, dude, we don't have a fucking UI system. Like, what are you worried about batch rendering when we don't even have a scroll bar? Like, I just get people ask me the weirdest questions. Also, though, I don't think so. Aside from maybe text, there's no real point to doing batch rendering for a UI because it's just not intensive enough. There's just not enough draw calls unless you do something really weird. Anyway, I'm a little bit at a loss as to what is going on. Oh, I know what's going on, guys. We're outside the scissor. Probably, maybe. No, because we pop it up here. I never finished typing that comment, but I put a different version of it somewhere. Okay, well, that was my best guess. Is that the visible in scissor thing? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. So that we can set a breakpoint in update production value button, everything else here is literally going to go just return so that nobody else. Let's do this one even just in case. Whoops. Build, go. So literally nobody else should ever be checking that. Oh, I guess check. But, oh, do checkboxes. Dang it. Okay, here's a new strategy. We're going to say debug is false, right? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that the debug flag is true and sorry, scroll bar. When we call update production value button, we're going to say debug is true. And we're going to hope that. Okay, so I'm going to run this from the debugger. I'm going to set a breakpoint in that place. Because this is the annoying part about debugging UI, right? Is like is like you kind of want to be on the UI while you break at the right time in the debugger. So maybe I should make a key press that invokes a breakpoint instead. But this is what I did. So update production value button. All right. So let's see what that does. Okay. Our status is never over. Probably. Which is probably the bug. When do we get this status? Because I was looking here. But like, do we get the status before we pop the thing? Nib status. No, it's right here. Nib rect. It's right there. It's negative. Emmer effer, dude. Okay. This is what happens when you start with someone else's code. All right. So let's say nib top. Don't ever do that, guys. Like just because you happened, there we go. Look, we no longer have a negative area rect. So now it does all the things. That's great. Okay. Have I made a decision about the beta pricing? I kind of like the idea of doing an auction. We might do that for fun. Okay, so now the thing that feels worse about this is it stops sliding when I go outside. So we need to fix that. And for that, we have button state and pressed. I don't remember. See, right, with buttons, I can hold it down and move outside. Right? And that's not either of these. I guess it's the down effect T being 0 or not. So let's just say see, I don't want it to scroll after we let up. But I don't, that's something that buttons don't care about. Oh, but we can check if the mouse button is still down. Okay. We could say, so instead of this, we're going to say if dragging, all right. We actually don't need to worry about this right now. Not necessary. We might want some elaboration, but so if the mouse comes up, right, I just want to do some stuff to set it to true. And if the mouse comes up, we set it to false, right? Maybe I should put that on the state. Yeah. Actually, so down here. Okay. So there's a couple different, we need to decide how we want our scroll bar to behave is what's happening. Okay, so for dragging, right now, I'm actually going to do nib status. Oh yeah, we need to put all right, so I can drag, now I can drag while I'm outside. That's great. It feels much better, tremendously better. Okay. I cannot anymore click out here because this is the trench area and this is the nib area. So right now, and we're sort of teleporting when we click on the nib. So let's not do that. So we're going to say if you click on the nib, something happens, right? Else, if the trench status is over. Ooh, actually, like it's going to be how you start. Like if you start off the nib, you're going to be in teleporting mode, right? Okay. Okay. We're just going to do this. Okay. So and I guess to be safe, we're going to make sure that both of these aren't active at the same time. Not sure how much we need to be worried about that, but let's see. Okay, so these should be start. If state.teleporting jump the scroll nib to the cursor. Okay. So if I click down here, we teleport. And it's kind of dragging, but it's like it's teleporting with the thing, right? As opposed to if I click on the nib, we're actually dragging it. And why is that different? It's only slightly different. So if I'm teleporting, it's going to jump the thing to the middle of my cursor all the time. If I'm dragging, like if I grab it here, like it's keeping it where I grab it, right? That's the difference. Well, unless I go off, right? Okay. Anyway, that's great. GG's. I mean, later we can talk about animating this and stuff, but for now, we just want it working well enough. Immediate mode UI, who cares? I don't care. Isn't streaming my work removing the surprise factor of releasing a game? Nobody is watching this stream relative to the audience of the game. Scroll wheel. Scroll wheel works. For page up and all that stuff, it's unclear whether we want to put that in by default or let people map it. I'm actually not sure how I feel about that. It's weird because in the text input, we definitely wanted to do all that and make it remappable. So maybe once we have a system for that, That'll work. Here we go. Can't break it by dragging off the window, changing your Y, and re-entering the window. You mean like... I mean, definitely your cursor gets far away from the thing. But like, that's not really breaking, I don't think. I mean, we could track that. You could imagine us tracking that and saying, well, if you drag off the bottom, it shouldn't move again until you go back up to where you were, right? So right now, if you do that, it gets ahead of the cursor. If you're in drag mode, I mean, that's the thing. If you're in drag mode, it does that. If you're in teleport mode, it'll track you like this. Anyway, that seems approximately good enough for now. Are we using bitmaps for text rendering? It depends what you mean by that question. This is good enough to deliver value to the people, right? Like people can make scroll bar stuff with this and then we can make it better later, right? That's the whole thing, is we want to make sure that everybody can have a good time. Hovering over the trench when you re-enter. What do you mean? Does it work with mouse wheel? We've shown mouse wheel 17 times. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What we should do, actually, we should theme it a little bit more, right? The theme should probably say, like, how much is a mouse wheel click? How much offset is a mouse wheel click? Because I think that's hard coded right now. And then there's a hard coded pixel thing. So I want to get rid of that stuff. But in terms of shortcuts and other interesting behaviors and stuff, I think that can wait, because I mean, we could ship people a scroll bar that they will enjoy. Can you put borders around elements? Sure, if you want. We don't care. Although so the background color that we're drawing, I think we're drawing it around the inside rectangle and not, see, it's not coming all the way up to the scroll bar. So that's the other thing. Wait, what was the thing I just said before that we need to do? Oh, the how far does the mouse wheel go? Yeah. Okay, two things. So the background color, should not be content area. Wait. I guess it should. So why is this not happening? Are we not? I guess we're not setting it. But it did work before. Didn't we see? Oh. Maybe we need a flush. I don't know. There we go. I mean, it looks uglier, but that's just because we are ugly colors right now. Okay. So how far does the scroll wheel go? We're going to say scrollable region theme. We're going to say mouse wheel increment O dot 0.25 distance to scroll per tick of the mouse wheel relative to screen height. Okay, or render target. Yeah. All right, so delta Z, it's just straight up subtracting it. Where is that coming from? It's just wheel delta. We just fucking multiply it by 10 for no reason in OS X. Okay, so I guess it's hard coded to some number of ticks right now. So we actually don't want it to be this big. We want it to be smaller. I don't know. Like, this is one of those things that, like, okay, so here we get about 2 buttons exactly per wheel tick. If I take it down, wait, we're still getting 2 buttons. Oh, because I didn't change it. Okay. Let's do this. So now we're going about 3 buttons, but that is a different amount than we used to. So we'll go to Now we're less than 2 buttons. What's going on? Oh, now we're at like 0.8 buttons. Whatever. Clicking on a button half visible should scroll to make the button. No, because you don't know what's going to be down here in somebody's program. All right. I mean, maybe if there was nothing active there, I don't know. For now, we're not doing that kind of thing. How are we cutting off the button text? We're using the scissor rectangle, which is just built into graphics APIs usually. The implementation is different depending on the API, but we're just using the scissor rectangle. How's everybody doing? I'm thinking I might put some tea on now. We definitely have some value here, people. Definitely have some value. TCAM. We don't have technology for the TCAM. You only knew about the scissor buffer. I don't know what a scissor buffer is. If you mean the stencil buffer, then I know what that is. All right. Do I have milk? I don't have milk. This is a milkless society today. We are sadly lacking in the milk department. We're going to have to move all these widgets soon to make room for more. So I guess, I mean, I expected that to take longer. I guess we're going to move on to whatever the next thing is. Wait, is HBO doing something with Twitch? Is that what we're saying? Oh, no, you know what? There's still a no check-in. This thing. For now, let's say nib margin. Anyway. So minimum or nib margin here. Floor. Let's say nib. Say B is called B. Floor. Theme.nib margin times bar.w. Let's do this. Okay. So I don't think we want to add this in all four directions. Oh, wow. We're drawing a frickin'. It's actually not what I want to do right now. Let's just be more flat than that right now. Okay. So there we go. So you see this doesn't actually go out to the edge. We could raise that slightly. It's going to look a little better eventually when we do the thing. Color picker, file open save. Yeah, we don't actually have a file open save. We just launched the operating system one. Color picker we could do. Horizontal scroll, we already said we're not doing that today. Auto hide when inactive, fuck no. That is, auto hiding scroll bars are the worst idea that anybody has ever had in the history of computers, except for all the other bad ideas. I absolutely will not program an auto hiding scroll bar. Bite me. Yeah, we could do color picker. All right, let me warm up the tea. The other thing we could do is, drop downs is something I don't think we have at all. That's definitely a thing we could do. We could also do the thing now where we actually compile in. So we use a couple of bitmaps, like for these. And right now we require your program to load them, which sucks. So we could compile those in now. And then also, a default font, right? Oh, I kind of don't feel that well right now. I think I ate too much cake today. We might need to take a stream break while I recover from cake. These probably should not be bitmaps long term, but in the short term, they are bitmaps, so. What kind of cake? It is so-called birthday cake, although it is not my birthday. Color picker might take some time, or it might be easy. Who knows? I kind of don't feel well. Very honestly. Maybe I'm dying of stomach COVID now. I don't feel good. I shouldn't have eaten that extra bit of cake just now. Do some burpees. Okay. So this is all good. Let's check this in, by the way. You know what? I might want to take a break because, like I said, I don't feel super good. How about if we check this in, and we'll come back later and do color picker. Right? Oh, it still is. Oh, that's our debug. Let's get rid of that. Oh. Okay. This is great. Or should I just force my way through it and continue to program like a real man? Either of these is a useful option right now. Suffer for your entertainment. Or maybe we just take a break tonight and play some Slipways campaign, and I get destroyed by the Slipways campaign. Let's do that. You know what? Because I've been working hard for a bunch of days. I think we're going to call it success. Right? We'll do color picker. Probably not tonight. We'll do color picker later. I'll come back on tonight after a break, and I'll try to fight with the Slipways campaign and actually try to win something. How does that sound? And that'll be good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Thank you for witnessing our fabulous new scroll bar, which is just great. And it's going to be interesting when we come to do the layout thing. I actually have some ideas about what the situation might be. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later on.